Man, it's been a while. I figured I would talk about this because I really wanted to see and gauge the, I wouldn't say optimism, but some other things, you know, that would just to get an idea of what you guys would think of it, because I'm sure based on this title people are going to be telling me it's strange, it's weird, but let me just explain, okay? Maybe I'm just dreaming and being hopeful, but let me just lay this out, okay? It's been a month and a bit of change since Book 2 started. And I'll be kind of honest, my interest in Book 2 has kind of died down quite a bit. Mostly because, one, you know, there hasn't been a constant flow of really giving us any sort of story. And, you know, outside of paralogs, which just kind of pop up and, you know, are their own little things. Because, of course, we've had nothing but specialty banners, seasonal banners, special units, whatever you want to call them, cropping up. Not that I don't like them, but it kind of shows that this character and these stories are kind of falling a bit behind on the wayside. And even more, I was kind of lambasted, I mean, when they decided to bring out another legendary character, and I was almost certain that when we saw her and who they were talking about, I was almost certain she was going to be free. And that's because technically, at least when it comes to you know, heroes, we're of course talking about Rite of Blades, because in the cutscene at the start of the intro, I'm sure a lot of you may not remember, or some of you don't really care and skipped, but Gunnthra actually showed up in that briefly. In fact, let's see if I can't get that to load a little bit. We're going to skip ahead, and we're going to see. As you can see, they already had her art and everything ready to go. In fact, she was ready and raring at the start here to basically be the next legendary hero. She was going to be there and be a part of it. She already spoke of course. This all came out on the same patch day as Book 2, so that instantly went into, you know, what would eventually become Book 2 and would introduce us to Fjorm. That basic stuff. But it's been a month since then, and, you know, when they introduced Gunnthra, I was like, there's no way she's not going to be free. There's no way. She's really quite an important character, at least from what we can tell. In some fashion, at least she can tell us a little bit about, you know, the Rite of Blades and this other nonsense. Not only that, but considering that she is a relative of another original character from the story, Fjorm, I was almost certain of this. But I'm almost certain, or at least I'm thinking that it might be certain, that later on we may eventually get Gunnthra and another legendary hero, or any of the other legendary heroes as free units, mostly because of some other, well, I wouldn't say context clues, but other content. Give an example, we got Fjorm. She was, of course, the water hero, legendary water, and in the newest Tempest Trial, we actually get an additional water blessing, which is, you know, a bit of a bonus, a bit of a weird, little awkward thing to give us, but something that might be really cool, and something that might be really neat to have. So, you know, it's an additional bonus for those who got Fjorm, and, well, you get Fjorm free, so it doesn't hurt to have it. But then, you need to realize that when it comes to, well, let's go open up our ally menu, let's go to Advanced Growth, and let's go to Confer Blessings, because I haven't really, as you can see, I still have quite a lot of my water blessings. I ended up with quite a few of them, but we have, you know, two other elements, technically, that haven't been introduced, fire and earth, technically, and I feel like it would probably be a bad idea in some ways to at least hide this behind a paywall, because this is a big functioning portion of what makes at least heroes right now powerful, because a lot of people use water blessings, a lot of people use their blessings, and if you haven't already you probably should, especially since they're giving them out more so. And when it comes to story context, I'm really confused. I'm really wondering why exactly they just decided to dump a character like Gunnthra into the abyss on a banner that might just, you know, she'll come back, of course, but I'm hoping in some ways that since, you know, legendary heroes are going to become a staple in this game, apparently, you know, until, I'm hoping, and I know this is probably just sounding like a ravings of a madman, but I'm really hoping that as we move along in the storybook, we'll eventually get to be introduced to Gunnthra, because we really haven't had anything outside of her showing up briefly in her little story mode of, you know, telling us about how to refine weapons. She just kind of showed up. And, you know, she has dialogue here, sure, where she's like, oh, hey, look, I'm from Niffle, and you saved my sister, that's so cool of you. But where exactly does this fit into the actual story mode? When are we going to get actual character development? I guess I shouldn't really say that, because a lot of these characters got their development in their actual games, in their own way, so I guess maybe I'm expecting too much. But I find it really odd and very unnerving, in a way, that they haven't taken the chance, or at least the advantage, to maybe make it so the first legendary heroes, and I'm sure there's going to be more in the future, you know, outside of the first of every element. But I really think that as time goes on, they may, in fact, make it so you can get these characters for free if you do the story mode in these books. It might be a long time in the future, but I wholly expect that because, one, these characters, in their own ways, don't really break the game. Gunnthra, she's kind of just in her way. Her stats aren't exactly bloated. She's just kind of a horse unit that has a unique little ability going with her. And Fjorm, when she came out, I'm pretty sure she's this way, she's a decent unit. She's good for those who want to play, and I feel it would be really a bad idea to hide it behind a paywall. Or maybe I'm just freaking out about it, but that's just my hypothesis about everything, guys, is that eventually all things will change, and we'll eventually get to the point where we might get a way to get a legendary hero, because I would find it really just bad practice to leave that huge portion of character development hidden behind just getting certain characters. Not only that, but if they decide to bring out, you know, new Tempest Trials or new ways to get blessings, it would be really incredibly terrible of them to just hide it behind a character that you may never get. It would be really bad if you came back to this game and, like, you did that story mode, you got Fjorm, and then you know, next Tempest Trial or something, you get a win blessing. Could you imagine that? Oh, God. I think that would cause rioting. I don't know. Maybe I'm just rambling. Maybe I'm just looking at the possibilities of futures, you know? Honestly, this is what happens when there's... You know, I like speculating. And I hope you guys don't mind me speculating and talking to you about this kind of stuff, because it would be a lot of fun just to see, you know, Gunnthra become free. Maybe, you know, Aspect of Earth or Fire come out for free much later on. I'm not talking about right when they're released. I don't mind them being a part of the banner, but if they're going to be original characters and brought forth in such importance, because this is Fjorm's sister, goddammit, how are you going to, like, how are you balancing that out to make it so she can be, you know, Fjorm's sister, but then, you know, just plop her in a banner, be like, hey, there she is. I don't know. It's weird. I'm weird. I'm sorry. I'm going to bed now, guys. I hope you have a great evening. Tell me what you guys think. Do you honestly think, you know, legendary heroes, since they are, at least what they seem to be, they aren't so much legendary in the fact that they are amazing. They're legendary in the fact that they have these buffs and they're portions of the story that are being told in the game. I feel that's a good idea, and if you're going to make it original characters, maybe just give it for free the first time, because I know for a fact that IS is not going to stop at making legendary heroes outside of the first base 4 elements. Just saying. Eventually we'll get another fire, wind, water, earth, you know, legendary hero outside of Gunnthra and Fjorm, you know, when it comes to water and wind. I'm just, that's my hypothesis on everything. It's just something that I'm almost certain of. And, you know, maybe Fjorm has a brother and he's gonna be, like, Earth, or maybe we'll see Bruno again and he'll show up as Earth, and I don't know. Would it be Bruno or would it be Zacharias? I'm not too sure. I would really like to have Levitain as a, you know, legendary hero, but that's just never probably gonna... Could you imagine how that would work? Like, they just bring out a banner and it's just like, here's Levitain, legendary hero of fire, and it's like, there's no story relevance after any of that, she's just there. I'm pretty sure people would throw their money at that because they love... people love Levitain for some reason. I don't know why. Can I get Surtur as a legendary hero? That'd be great. Thanks. That would probably be at the end of the storyline where, you know, there's a Xenologue or something. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, this was just the ramblings of my mind, talking to you guys and wondering about the possibilities of the future. What I'm trying to say here, IS, is give me more story, please. It would just be so much better if I could actually have some story to work with. And, you know, maybe a little bit more about what's going on with the whole, you know, evil king thing instead of, hey, look, there's Tharja. She's wearing a festive bikini, and it's Christmas. And then there's Takumi and his soup. I want soup. I feel terrible.